Welcome back. This is Live Smart with whatever this is, post Milano Cortina Winter Olympics edition. Man, we have a lot to debrief. Okay, so if you hear me saying okay, it's because I spent too much time in Italy lately. We're gonna have to backtrack at least 3 weeks, even though it feels like 2 months have gone by. The Winter Olympic Games is always such a highlighted month of the year, not just for us as athletes, but for the whole world watching on television, live, there in Italy, our families and friends, and even Linda. She's exhausted. This is the moment you are the center of attention of the world. But I feel like a lot more than just the Olympics happened to myself, which I'm so grateful for. But we need to debrief everything like step by step. And I explained in my last episode, the way I like to debrief these moments is by going through my camera roll. So we're going to do exactly that. First of all, leaving for the Olympic Games, being so trained, so ready, and at the peak in our career and our season was incredible. Like such a great feeling, like going into your Olympic Games thinking like, yeah, or knowing that, yeah, I'm ready for this. Like, thank God, because there's been some bumps in the road throughout this last season, from last year into this year. And to be going into the Olympic Games feeling as confident and as good as we did, Tim and I, that's all we wanted. That's all any athlete wants. And it doesn't happen for everybody. Some athletes went into this Winter Olympic Games with injuries, they just had time off. They just had to miss a competition prior to the Olympic Games. Everybody was at a different point in their career. So Tim and I were so grateful that we were so aligned and so on it for this Olympic Games. This was our first Olympic Games together as a team. Tim's second, my second. We were with separate partners at the last Games. But this was our first Olympics that was a real proper Olympics, i.e. it wasn't during a global pandemic. It's a pretty big deal. So there was no COVID tests involved. There were no masks involved. It was just like pure excitement, pure joy, like no stress. That was the extra added stress that we had in 2022 with COVID. Going to this Olympics was just like a party. Like we finished our training day and it was just like, oh my God, we're doing this. And it just felt like we were going on vacation. Of course not. But with all the other athletes that we were traveling with from IAM, the Ice Academy of Montreal, there was just a lot of joy in the air, a lot of gratitude, and I don't know, just it was like a team bonding moment. It was like a school trip. Do you remember how school trips felt when you were a kid in high school or primary school? Like the night before you couldn't really sleep and you were so excited to go away with your friends and be away from your parents and everything. Like it truly felt like that. Just arriving at an airport and having such a welcoming moment in general, because the last Olympics, everything was just sectioned off and private and COVID tests and hazmat suits. It was so different. So landing in the popular airport of Malpensa, Milan, Italy, and then having like a separate section for the Olympic athletes to go get your accreditation, that whole excitement. Everyone's in their kits, like it was incredible. I could talk about just that moment for hours, but we're going to just fly through all these moments that we need to debrief. So we get to the Olympic Village. Tim and I were having our Olympic kit sent to the village. So we were collecting it when we arrived. And that's like a very exciting moment for an athlete to get to the Olympics and get your Olympic kit and do the unboxing and try all the clothes on with your country with the Olympic rings on. So we got our boxes and I'm going through my stuff and I'm like, there's not that much here. And like, I remember doing the spreadsheet and seeing all the items and being like, oh wow, there's so much stuff. It's so cool. And I just remember going through it and being like, I think I'm missing a lot. Long story short, I went through the list and I was missing over half of my kit. Over half of my kit also included our opening ceremony kit. So I was missing the jacket, the pants, the boots, the hat, everything. The opening ceremony was in 3 days, and I was also the flag bearer for Spain, and I didn't have my kit. I didn't have my opening ceremony kit to be the flag bearer for Spain. I was like, this is like a pretty big deal. I was pretty chill, was pretty calm, but I was also like to our NOC, like the team leader of Spain that was in the village with us. I was like, hey, like any ideas like where my kit might be? And I remember them, or our leader just looking at it being like, tranquilo, day by day. And I'm like, tranquilo? I'm just going to have to wear the flag at some point, I guess, during the opening ceremony. I was like, am I going to have one of those, what's the celebrity called? Oh, this was days before Chapel Roan had her, like, red carpet moment where she had, like, a flag, like, attached to her nipples. And I was like, am I going to have my own, like, Chapel Roan moment of wearing the Spanish flag in my own way? That's one way to go viral during the Olympics, I guess. But no. Hello?
I will interrupt you, not to be rude. You said this exact thing word for word in the last episode. Like the breakdown, you know what I'm saying?
Fuck you all, man. This is just in case y'all didn't watch my last episode. Yeah, I hope your coffee tastes good. Long story short, I got my kit. We did the opening ceremony. I was the flag bearer, a moment I'll never forget. The pictures, like the memories, the moments that we had that evening just opened up the Olympic Games in such a special way. And then in that moment, I realized, oh shit, the Olympic Games is starting. And like, not, the fun isn't over, but like, that's when things get real. Like the competition is happening. And the competition started 2 days after the opening ceremony for us. So we had a really, really quick turnaround. And the way I waved that flag and danced through that opening ceremony, the next day I was pretty sore. And I had to, bring my excitement down, bring my energy back down to earth, be grounded again, and get ready for those competition days. Spectacular. The best skates we could have had at the Olympic Games. Of course, there's that little tiny extra pressure competing at the Olympics, because you're not just performing for the skating community and fans and the crowd. You're skating to the whole world that's watching you on television back home. That's like billions of people. And like all eyes are on you at the Olympics. You can go viral, but for good reasons and bad reasons. So like you want to have like your moment at the Olympic Games, especially in your event. So skating, great, is everyone's goal, of course, but especially at the Olympic Games, you want to have that moment. And we truly feel that Tim and I had that moment in both the rhythm dance and free dance. We couldn't have asked for more. Actually, we could have asked for not the exclamation point in the free dance choreo step. That was a bit of a bummer. We actually didn't know about that. We finished the free dance and we were on such a high. We were so happy. We just got on a really, really, really nice, juicy score at the Olympic Games that pulled us up a place from the rhythm dance. It wasn't until we were reunited with our families a few hours later, after media and the end of the event and everything. And my mom was hugging me and she's like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. I can't believe you got an exclamation point in your choreo step. And I'm like, bitch, what? Huh? What do you mean? Are you joking? And she's like, no, ask Jean-Luc. And then I march over to Jean-Luc and I'm like, we got a choreo step exclamation point? And he's like, yeah. I was livid. And I did the one thing that I probably shouldn't have done. And I went straight over to Tim and told him, because like I got angry, but I knew Tim would be angry. And yeah, I was right. I told Tim, and immediately, like, you could just see he just saw red. And we like pulled up the video and we were trying to figure out where it was. And we were just so angry for a moment. But I was like, you know what? Like, we can't take that away. Can't let this take this moment away from us. Like, we got a really good score, but our minds were going, but we could have got this score. But anyway, we had like lots to celebrate regardless of that. Don't worry. The anger passed within minutes. We were with our family. We were off to a hotel by the rink to celebrate at the ISU Home of Skating. They had like a soiree afterwards with some drinks and just kind of like a skating family all together. And just having the ISU Home of Skating be a thing at this Olympic Games was such a milestone moment for figure skating and skating in general, because that includes the speed skating. ISU did a phenomenal job with this. This is the first time they've had this at such a major event and the Olympic Games. And you can tell that this is just the start for them and what they're building. And thank you to the ISU Home of Skating and the ISU for having me come and do 2 podcast episodes there. Like, just having that opportunity. Me and Steven, my social media manager, did have a plan. We did have a plan. He did tell me, like, I should take 2 phones and a setup, like a tripod, and film a podcast at the games, like in my room or in the village at some point. So I did take another phone with that being the plan. But then when Teresa from the ISU reached out so I could to film a podcast there, I was like, oh, this is way better. They had a full camera setup, lights, microphones, a sofa. Like, they really made it feel like I was at home on my sofa doing Live Smart, whatever this is, at home. The only thing that was missing there was Linda. But I got to have some really special guests. I got to sit with Adam Rippon. I got to have my skating partner Tim on the podcast. And just share that moment from what I've built at home here with the ISU. So thank you for that. It was truly a moment I'll always be grateful for. We're done at the Olympics, and it's like February 11th. And the end of the games is February 22nd. So we have like time to enjoy the Olympic spirit, celebrate, just take everything in. I was so lucky that I got to have all my family there with me and Jean-Luc. So I got to really have some like nice family time with them and explore Milan, Italy, do a little bit of shopping, do a little bit of drinking. I stayed with my parents and Jean-Luc and my brother and his fiance in their Airbnb, and just kind of like took myself away from the Olympic Village for a minute, which I think was really good because it was really overwhelming in a way as well, in the best way possible. But to really like let my family time soak in at the Olympic Games, like in that moment, it was so special. Like right after the free dance, after we went to the ISU Home of Skating, we went back to the Airbnb and we sat on the floor in our pajamas and ate McDonald's. And that was perfect. That's literally like, that's what I needed to like calm my nervous system in a way. And it was just really wholesome. And like, that's probably been my highlight of this whole Olympics. Well, there's another big highlight, but this being one of them was having my whole family at this Olympic Games with me. I didn't get to experience that in 2022. I could see how much they enjoyed it, and that just filled my heart so much. And I'm so proud and so grateful. And I felt so loved just to have them there in the crowd, hearing them cheer for me. And I knew they were proud of me before this, and I knew I was their little Olympian, but I know now they're really proud of me. And now I'm their little Olympian because they've seen it. They saw it live. They saw it happen in real life. And it's truly special. And I'm so grateful that they were able to be there and spend the money on how expensive those figure skating tickets were. Wow. As we were leaving the opening ceremony, like the stadium, which was also in the San Siro Stadium, which is a football stadium, which my brother was like, what? He was blown away by it. As we were leaving the stadium, this girl like runs past me, and I like look, and it was Alysa Liu. And Alysa Liu and I have spent time together in the past when she was a pipsqueak at a show in like Philadelphia or something, to the last Olympic Games in Beijing, where she borrowed my rhythm dance costume for the gala because she didn't bring one. She didn't bring a costume to be in the Olympic gala. She's so wholesome. Anyway, she ran past me leaving the closing ceremony, and she's like, I've lost everybody. And I was like, hey girl, like come hang out with us. So we got this really cool photo together, which I'm so happy we did, because now this girlie is Olympic champion. I have a few other photos back in 2022 where they both look like children, but just to have seen her growth and her path to where she is today after winning an Olympic gold medal, after like not even being that tied up to it. She was like, I'm not here to win. I'm not here to medal. She's like, I'm here to have fun and just be me. And then she wins. I love that. But we're so proud of her. That moment was truly spectacular, and the attention and the love that she's receiving now, there's nobody more deserving. And we're so proud of you, Alysa. Okay. But wait, there's a photo that I just saw that I need to share. Don't know his name. I met this guy from Jurassic Park.
Oh my God.
This guy.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Don't know his name.
I literally woke up in the Olympic Village. It was 10:50 a.m. and I walk out my room, walk out to the dining hall, and there's like this crowd of people, and I'm like, who's that? And I see it's this famous person. I'm like, I recognize this guy. I'm gonna get a photo of him. I just walk up, I'm like, hey man, can I get a photo of you? The amount of times that happened in our Olympic Village was quite crazy though. You just like walk around and you're like, huh, that's a really famous K-pop singer. Oh, Snoop Dogg. Like, we're really lucky. But it was just like a lot. So met Jeff Goldberg. Jurassic Park, guys. I was getting a Coke can scanned of Linda's face, and him and his family, his wife and his 2 kids, were in front of me getting it done. And I was like, it's not every day you stand behind a celebrity like this in the Olympic Village in Milan. We have this amazing, as I'm just talking about my family and having my whole family there, Tim's family, our trainer Mark, everybody. I have this amazing group picture of us post free dance, where everyone just looks so happy and slightly drunk. But it was a moment that I'll never forget. This is a video that I took right before the free dance, which I was going to turn into an Instagram reel, but I forgot. My mom sent me this message. If you're a fast reader, read it fast. If not, pause the video. And this was my reaction to her message. I was absolutely cacking my pants for the free dance. I was so nervous. I can't explain it. The anxiety, everything that was going through my body. But I was also just so emotional. Like if anyone hugged me or like showed me any sign of affection that day, I would have broke down. And my mom does this thing where she sends me a message before every event. But the 2 most significant events in my life so far have been the World Championships in Boston and the Olympic Games here in Milan. And she sent me the most special messages during that time. So her sending this message in that moment with how emotional and triggered I felt, I cracked. But I felt like I needed it. Like I needed a good cry to like release those emotions. Jean-Luc does the same thing. He will either, if he's around, he'll come and see me and give me a hug and like just give me his energy before the competition. But this time, because I was in the Olympic Village, he couldn't come in. And he sent me a really, really long, gorgeous message that I'll cherish forever. Jean-Luc also gave Tim and I handwritten notes to take to the airport to open on the flight, which he's done for me in the past, but I'll never, ever, ever, ever get bored of them. I'm very lucky. But he gave Tim one, and Tim wasn't sat near me on the flight, so I didn't see him open it. But before the free dance, I'm sat on my yoga mat and I'm doing my thing. I'm trying to not throw up. And then I like catch in the corner of my eye, like Tim like pull open this piece of paper and start reading it. And I look over and I'm like, oh man, Tim's reading Jean-Luc's note again. And like my heart was bursting. I was just like, whoa, I can't wait to tell Jean-Luc this. And Tim told Jean-Luc and told me like that was such a special thing for him. And he was so thankful for it. But just seeing him literally read that note half an hour before going on the ice to do a free dance at the Olympic Games from my boyfriend, now fiance, was so special. And Jean-Luc's had such a huge role in our career together. And yeah, that was just a moment I completely forgot about, but will cherish forever. Oh, took my dad and my brother to a hockey game. I was like, they need to experience this. Like, they love football. Like, they're massive football fans. But I was like, you need to see people fight on the ice. You need to see what the hype is about. Got to spend some time with my mom and dad in the city. One thing that I said that I wanted to do post-Olympics, I wanted to find, like, a special souvenir. That special souvenir, I knew in my mind, I wanted it to be a handbag. I wanted a designer handbag. And I have this deep found love for Bottega Veneta. And they came out with a Valentine's Day collection. And I was like, I'm going to get a Valentine's Day Bottega Veneta bag. Anyway, went to the store and we were looking around. I didn't get a Valentine's Day collection bag. I found my Olympic bag. Like, I wasn't looking for this, but I found it. This bag is all the colors of the Olympic rings. And it just stood out to me in such a unique way. I wanted a new big bag anyway, like a travel bag, something I can use for everything and anything. But I wanted something unique. I wanted something that stood out to me and was really personal and wasn't, I don't know, like what everybody else has. I like just different things. So I found this bag and it was just all the Olympic rings colors. And I was like, oh my God, like this is insane. This is perfect. But the bag itself is amazing. But the bag came in this huge shopping bag. And probably the highlight of me coming home to my parents and my family with this shopping bag and getting inside of it. Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2026. Jean-Luc asked me a while ago, before going to the games, like, can I dedicate this day to me and him having time alone at the Olympic Games on Valentine's Day? I was like, yes, of course, absolutely. Like, there's no doubt about it. My family left on February 13th, so Jean-Luc and I were alone. February 14th, we had the full day, and Jean-Luc had a full scheduled plan. Earlier on in the week, a close friend of mine, Javi Raya, asked me if I would speak at the Pride House, which is, one, a huge honor, but two, an amazing opportunity. And I remember asking Jean-Luc, being like, hey, babe, February 14th, I've been asked to speak at the Pride House, just like a quick little short speech. And he's like, I'm like, can we fit it into our plans? Like, how can we make it work? He's like, I'm like, can we do an earlier dinner? I'm very lucky that he did do that. He did work around it. Our day started off with us waking up like slightly hungover, laying in our pajamas on the sofa, watching Handmaid's Tale. We went to a bakery literally on the corner near our Airbnb, got some baked goods, some orange juice, and sat and watched Handmaid's Tale and just had like a really slow morning. And then we went on to getting dressed and going to our first stop of the day for Valentine's Day. But to continue this story, I really want to have my fiance come on and just explain and talk about what this day looked like for the both of us. Okay. It was bad there. It was really bad. Unless, actually, I think we offended more Italians than made them laugh.
Oops.
Anyway, so
Valentine's Day. You're telling people that you were being a shit.
How was it being a shit?
Oh, you're just trying to plan a bunch of stuff because you're like always Miss FOMO.
Yeah, well, during the Olympics, of course, I have like major FOMO. Like there's so many things happening, events, people, everything. And John looks like, I need this day. And I'm like, okay. No, it was perfect. It was what we wanted. As I said, we started off the day in the most perfect way. We just had some time for the two of us. We had this beautiful Airbnb. And then we started getting dressed to go for drinks.
No.
What?
We had to go back to your store to go get a tax receipt.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, we don't have much time for this. And you're like, it's fine. And by the way, I bought Liv like an alarm clock like 3 winters ago for Christmas. It doesn't work. She took the batteries out. She's always late.
Always. It's part of my personality. But it's part of my personality. And now at this point, because like, you know, we're on a good roll. Like things are going well. Like if I am early, like I will make myself a couple minutes late just to stay like on brand. Like I don't want to change what works.
And I always like being on time. I am very good at scheduling things.
Opposites attract, guys.
Yin yang. So basically, we went to go do this thing, get a tax receipt for her little big Olympic bag. And I'm obviously nervous because the proposal is in hours at this point.
I didn't know.
She didn't know. And
so I'm like, la, 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 la.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, what about this store? And I'm like, yeah, okay, like for sure we could go look. Trying not to make it too obvious. And then I was like, the only thing is that we need to be like at this bar at like 4 p.m. so we can sit down and enjoy a drink before I had the photographer, which did a photo shoot with you and Tim earlier 2 weeks prior, like the day you got there, basically.
Yeah, shout out to Giuseppe.
Yeah, Giuseppe absolutely fell through. Not fell through, pulled up. That was wrong.
So John, you had a lot of planning.
A lot
of planning done, and I didn't know. Like, I didn't know I was getting proposed to. So, yeah, I was like pretty casual. And we did start getting ready to go to this bar, and we were running a little bit late, correct?
30 minutes.
No, like 10 minutes.
No, I wanted to be there at 4, and we didn't leave till 4:25.
Okay. So
I remember.
We were kind of late, but I had an outfit planned. I remember sitting on the bed before getting ready, writing my speech for the Pride House. And he's like, hey, babe, you going to get ready? And I was like, babe, I need to finish this speech. I wouldn't have had that tone if I knew I was getting proposed to. Yeah, we get to this bar and we sit and we're having a drink. And
By the way, it's like 4:45 and the photographer's messaging me saying, hey, I'm here whenever you're ready. I'm hidden around the corner. And I'm like, hey, bro, super sorry. We just sat down. Olivia couldn't figure out her outfit, but we're not going to get mad about it.
And she wants another bowl of chips, so
Yeah.
we might be here for a minute. Yeah, because they brought us olive and chips with our Negronis. Anyway, we had a nice little drink, and
was
then
great.
he was like, I don't know, he was on his phone, but like I didn't think anything of it. Like I had no inclination of what was happening.
He was texting me saying, yo, it's about to happen.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he was texting people being like, it's time. And I'm over here like enjoying my Negroni, like, ah.
And
And
he's
he's like, I'm so sorry I'm on my phone. I was like, it's fine, babe. Don't worry. Like, don't be sorry.
And the biggest thing was like, I was like, okay, we're gonna go to this bar, and then I want to walk around the streets, check some things out, and then I was like, we have dinner at 6. And she's like, okay, cool. And I was like, maybe we'll go to another bar, like on the walk around, just grab another drink before dinner. And then so we sit down at this bar, and she's like, oh, why don't we just stay here until dinner? And I'm like, great. So now I have to lie to your face again and be like, no, I really want to walk around. Like, it's beautiful around here.
Yeah.
Nathan and I rode bikes earlier in the week. I was like, you got to see this area. It's super cute.
Yeah, you did say like you and my family spent time there and you loved it and you wanted me to see it because I didn't see it.
No, correct. And you're like, oh, you were just on board at that point. You're like, oh,
Yeah, I
okay,
was
cool.
like, I was in for the ride. I trust him with my life. I was like, for sure.
We also got our drinks, and at this
Did
point,
you
it's
fart,
like,
Linda?
what? But it's like 4:55, and like there was a timing for the lighting as well because I didn't want to do it like in the dark. So I was like, we got our drinks, and I just start like hammering my drink, and Liv's like, whoa, like you're drinking that fast. I was like,
He
yeah.
ordered a Vesper as well, which is like a really, really strong martini, and he's like, "Ugh," and I'm like,
why are we drinking so fast? And I was like, we gotta go. We have to move on. So I like get up and Liv's finishing her drink, and I went and paid the bill quickly, and she's like, wow, you're really in a rush. But again, didn't think anything of it.
I did not. Nothing clicked. Yeah.
Which was great for me.
So we're leaving this bar and we walk out and I'd had one Negroni and I hadn't eaten much, so I was a little buzzed. And I literally look at Jean-Luc and I'm like, babe, I'm like kind of tipsy. And I do this gesture and I'm like, heh. Like I'm being an idiot at this point. And we're like walking on these cute cobblestone streets. Nice. We're walking and we're like arm in arm having this beautiful stroll. And then Jean-Luc goes, oh, wow, look at that painting. And I'm like, oh, where? And he's like, oh, never mind. And I'm like, what do you mean, never mind? And I was like, point it out. And he's like, no, it's fine. Just keep walking. I'm like, babe, I want to see the painting. He's like, Olivia, just keep walking. So in that moment, I was like, okay, I'm going to shut up. Like, I don't know what I just did. But why didn't you want me to look at the painting?
Well, because like I obviously crushed my drink really fast and I was extremely hungry. So I was like, wow, I just caught my eye and I pointed it out until
there was a painting. He
there
did see a cool
genuinely was.
painting.
But it wasn't until when I pointed it out, I was like, oh, the photographer's actually standing right by it with his hood up and his camera on his shoulder. So then she's like, where? And I'm like, oh, it doesn't even matter. Like, we're just going to keep walking. She's like, no, show me. And I'm like, no, we're not. Just keep walking, okay? Like, let's go this way. And she's like, oh, okay, sounds good.
But I didn't think, I still, in that moment, didn't think anything of it. I was like, whatever. Like, I'm going to move past it. And then Jean-Luc and I do this thing when we get dressed up and go for dinners. Like, I put my phone up and we do this little, like, video dancey dance for Instagram. And Jean-Luc's like, oh, you should prop your phone up over there and we should do our little outfit dance video. We haven't done it in a while. So, again, no idea what's happening because this is just something normal that we've done, like nothing new. And we haven't been dressed up and like had a night like that in a while. So it was nice to do. So I propped my phone up and we're doing our little video. And then Jean-Luc like turns his back to the camera. And I'm like, babe, you're blocking like the camera. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, can you just step it back? Can you just step back a minute? And I'm like, but why? And he's like, just trust me. Can you step back? And then he gets down on one knee. Or before he gets down on one knee, he says, I know how long you've been waiting for this. And then I blacked out, so I don't know what else he said. But then he got down on one knee.
Yes.
And then I realized why this was all happening and the timing, because this wasn't just a moment you were like, oh, this is perfect. You had this planned. Before I propped my phone up, a small detail, but very funny detail, I propped my phone up and I had gloves on because it was cold. And I took my gloves off and I was like, oh, I'm going to take my gloves off. And I was like, oh, no, I'm going to put them back on. It's cold. And he's like, no, leave them off. And I was like,
she's like, what?
I was like,
It's like, we're not doing that. Just leave them off.
I was like, okay, I'll leave them off. Still, had no even,
Too easy.
yeah,
Too easy.
that's why you're marrying me.
No.
So yeah,
Yeah.
the journey getting to that moment was entertaining, so special, and we'll tell this story for the rest of our lives. And then after he got down on one knee, of course, I said yes. I was bawling my eyes out.
Sweet.
Bawling my eyes out. And then we're like hugging. We're having a moment. We're on a public street in Italy, and on this like gorgeous windy street, and there's people around us, and they're like cheering. People came out of the stores to cheer on for us.
Yeah, the shop owners came out and
Yeah.
everyone was clapping and cheering.
I was just like, oh my God, what's happening? Okay. And then he's like, look over there and smile at the camera. And I'm like, camera? And I look, and it's Giuseppe. It's the guy that Tim and I did a photo shoot with when we first arrived in Milan. He reached out to me before arriving to Milan to do a photo shoot if we had any extra time. And he found this like gorgeous location in Italy, in Milan. And we're like, yeah, absolutely. So then to see him again after getting proposed to, I was like, what? What's happening?
Yeah, Liv just kept saying sorry because she was like ugly crying.
I
She's like,
was
I'm sorry. And I was like,
ugly crying.
it's fine. Just look over there. And then I pointed, after she like did this, I pointed over to Giuseppe. And then next thing you know, he was over there taking a photo of us. And then also like super random, but one of the U.S. hockey players, Megan Keller.
Megan Keller, yeah.
Walked over, just happened to be in the area and was like, Jean-Luc, like, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you guys. I can't believe I just witnessed that.
And as she's saying this to Jean-Luc, I'm like, hi, Megan. And Megan actually scored the winning goal for the women's U.S. hockey team at the Olympics in overtime. She's the reason why they won. And Jean-Luc was like, that's because of us.
I don't actually think that.
But anyway, I saw her in the dining hall after we got engaged, and I just went over and said, hey, look, I'm so sorry. I was like bawling my eyes out last time I saw you. Congratulations. Jean-Luc thinks you won because you saw her proposal. And she laughed. But yeah.
Then it was a journey after that point.
It was a journey after that. Our night wasn't done. It was only 5 p.m.
It was 5. We had a couple phone calls to make, and then I was like, hey, we have dinner in 45 minutes, so hustle. And also, immediately, I was like, you need to airdrop that video to me right now.
The video that I just took of us, like, phone propped up, us dancing, whatnot. And he's like, you need to send it to me right now. And I'm like, why? And he's like, I'm having a video made. And I'm like, okay, got it.
Big ups to Steven on that one.
Yeah. The patience and the lead up to it. I don't know how long this was in the works for, but everyone knew except me, clearly. Then we had dinner, and of course we went to this gorgeous restaurant in Milan that you said you couldn't get a reservation at, but you did because you explained you were proposing, and I just competed at the Olympics, and we got very lucky that we got this reservation.
Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah,
and
it
it
was
was Valentine's
gorgeous.
Day, so like everyone
yeah.
and their mother was at a beautiful meal.
So the significance of Jean-Luc proposing on Valentine's Day is because 4 years ago on that day at the Olympics in 2022 was the day that Jean-Luc officially told me that he loves me and he's loved me for a really long time. And I had no clue. And I looked at him afterwards and was like, what? I didn't have the same reaction as I did to him proposing. But 4 years later, we're engaged. And that day is very, very significant to us. Yes, it's Valentine's Day, of course, but that was the day that this started. And
Whatever this is.
Whatever this
I'm
is.
just kidding. We know what this is.
He's like, of course I was going to do it on that day. I was like, I didn't even think of that. Like,
No, but like 6 months ago, you were like, how funny would it be if you proposed to me on Valentine's Day at the Olympics? And I was like, yeah, what a dumb idea.
did I say that?
Yeah, 100%. And I was like, yeah, stupid. Keep scrolling. Don't say a thing. Don't make any reaction.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Nice one, Olivia.
It's okay.
But I did say to him a few days prior to him proposing, I was like,
The
hey,
night
babe.
before.
The night before. I was like, hey, babe, if you don't propose in a year, I'm going to propose. And I'm being dead serious here. I'm like all about role switching. I'm like, I could do it. I can get down on one knee. Like, that will feel pretty powerful. But I did say that, and then I was like, would you be upset if I proposed? And he said, yes.
Yes. In my mind, and she said this at a dinner table with her family, who all knew that it was happening in like 12 hours. And I was like, yeah, I'd be upset. And they all kept looking at me like, can she just wait? Like, can you be just the slightest bit patient? I know you don't know yet, but like, please.
I was just ready.
Put on the brakes.
I was ready.
It's okay.
Very ready.
Same.
So, yeah, then we had a dinner, and we actually bumped into people that we know at dinner, like a few people from our skating world, that were buying us champagne and everything. It was gorgeous. Like, the night was still young, and we had a lot to celebrate. Oh, what are you looking at? And then I had to go and speak at the Pride House, which in that moment was probably the last thing that I wanted to do because I'd just gotten proposed to.
Yeah, but it was so cool. Like, you can't miss that.
Oh, no. It was phenomenal. But just like I had so much adrenaline going through my body. We also drank quite a bit at dinner because we were celebrating. And I pulled up to this Pride House, one with adrenaline and alcohol in my body. But I was so nervous because we got there and it was like a full theater of people. And I'm like, oh, okay. This is a huge honor, but like I need to nail this. Luckily, I did have a speech written out. And I did get to stand on stage and read it, and it was phenomenal. I actually think the liquid courage helped a little bit. I'm just an honor to speak in front of the Pride House as an ally around so many familiar faces from the skating world and out of the skating world. And then also like celebrate our proposal with friends, like not what we thought we were going to do. And just to like show off the bling. And just be like, oh my God, how's your night going? And I'm like, this is how my night's going. And then we went out. We had a night out, just the two of us.
Yeah.
Jean-Luc found this event. There was a DJ called Hi that is on some of Fred Again's songs. And she was doing an event at like this museum in Italy. Little did we know when we pulled up, it was actually the Casa Italia. It was the Italy house of the Olympic Games.
Yeah, and like downstairs, because their house was like in a museum, and we're walking in, and I was like, I have no idea where we are. Like, this was like an album release for this artist, and I was like, her music's so sick.
So good.
So I was like, let's just go. Like, maybe if it's not it, we can just go home and chill.
We have a good time wherever we go, though.
100%. And then we end up like walking down like these flights of stairs in this museum, and we're like, are we sure we're in the right place? And honestly, probably one of the best sets I think we've been to.
Yeah.
For real. Not just because we got engaged, but it was sick.
Just the vibe. It was like a really small crowd, really intimate, very Italian, cool people. And then there's Jean-Luc and I. But like we're on such a high from getting engaged and just the whole night and the whole day. We're like just ready to celebrate and we're ready to dance. And we did exactly that. And then we had the absolute pleasure of meeting the DJ High's girlfriend, who then told us to wait until the end because she wanted to introduce us to the DJ herself. So then we got the opportunity to meet her, explain why we're there from the Olympics, and then we just got engaged. And they were just amazing, like really sweet, amazing people.
Amazing.
And like just humble. Then followed us on Instagram. We like switched contacts and
Sick.
like just a moment to like close our night. We're like, whoa, this
And
day
then
has
we
been
ordered
incredible.
McDonald's.
And then we ordered McDonald's, my second of
24 hours.
24 hours. There was like 5 more after that.
I'm weak for McDonald's though, so that's.
Yeah, and the McDonald's in Italy was like
bad
really,
for that.
really good.
No, I'm so weak, man. It's bad.
Oh yeah, the pin trading game. So there was this one guy that was stood outside the Olympic Village with like vintage collection of pins, and he had an Olympic McDonald's pin.
A U.S. Olympic.
U.S. Olympic McDonald's pin.
Yeah, which is sick because like McDonald's used to sponsor all the Olympics, so they'd have it in the dining halls. And the Olympics that our first Olympics, McDonald's was the first time it wasn't the sponsor, and it was KFC and
Pizza Hut,
which was sick. But
this year, none, 0.
Ciao. I also had no voice. For
Zero
like
voice.
2 weeks.
You sounded drunk.
I actually was.
Wait, Jean-Luc was real. You
Was
say
I?
I wasn't?
Oh, I actually no. She's right.
Oh
I'm
yeah, Jean-Luc doesn't get drunk
often.
often, because we don't like to drink because we don't feel good afterwards. But this night we were like this is a different type of day. Like, we were celebrating. Yeah, we got back to our Airbnb that night, and he was drunk.
Yeah. We just kept being like, where's Linda? We want to hang out.
Yeah, we miss Linda. We were like, we want Linda to sit with us and eat our McDonald's right now. Anyway, that was our proposal day.
Great day.
A great day. I love you.
Love you too.
And instead of getting Jean-Luc an engagement ring, I just had him move his Medusa ring to his engagement finger. I guess it's untraditional to wear an engagement ring as a guy because you only wear your wedding ring. But I don't know. I felt like I didn't want him to be felt left out because, like, I'm showing off my bling.
I didn't feel left out, but that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, have fun.
Love you.
Love you.
Okay, so that next morning, I woke up as a fiance. That was really cool. You dream of this moment and you dream of this day, but you don't really know what it feels like. And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, this is what it feels like. And now that I'm looking for my photos, like, we had so much going on. That next day, I went to the ISU Home of Skiing and filmed a podcast as a fiance. We walked in and they had champagne and a full celebration for us with on the wall, congratulations, Olivia and Jean-Luc. And we had champagne, even though the next morning we woke up and we were like, oh my God, I don't want to drink for a couple of days. And then we went back to drinking. I did a podcast with Adam Rippon. I gave him a Linda pin. And then I had the opportunity of meeting some influencers that were brought in by Meta. And they were brought into the ISU Home of Skiing. So I got to meet them. I got to exchange a Linda pin with Carter. From meeting these influencers, I met a guy called Will, who then eventually went on to inviting Tim and I to a Meta event later on in that week. So being in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people works. And Tim and I had the opportunity to go to a Meta event. And then from that Meta event, we got invited to a Meta Oakley brunch where we got the Meta Oakley glasses and we got to use them on the ice during the gala. But yeah, just the connections that you kind of make at the Olympic Games are very real. And in that moment, I was like, oh, this is it. Like, this is fun. Like, this is what I've been wanting to mesh the world of the work of social media that we're doing and what I'm doing to working with brands and meeting new people out of the skating world. Tim and I got an Uber straight to the rink because we had practice. We had gala practice that we had to be at. But we're very grateful to be back on Olympic ice again without the pressure, in a different setting, and just taking that moment and just being back on Olympic ice is just such an honor. Something that I did 4 years ago with Adrian, but something that Tim hadn't experienced yet. So I was excited to see how much he enjoyed it and just took it in. And also the best thing about being back on Olympic ice, not during your competition, is you have the time to get the best content. And that's exactly what we did. The one thing that I was very proud of from being on this group gala practice on the Olympic rink was I had all the dune skaters on the ice at one time. So we had all the dune skaters that skated to the dune soundtrack for the Olympics here on the ice, and we got a dune family picture. I posted this on my Instagram and it blew up. The skating world loved this. And this was just a really special moment because every skater in this photo has become an icon on their own, and their dune programs were iconic. We have the Olympic champion on this photo. So Alysa Liu and Shidorov, I kind of killed it with getting the photos this Olympics, guys. And then there's the figure skating gala. This is a unique experience. Every championship event, so Grand Prix, Europeans, Four Continents, Worlds, has a gala at the end of the competition. But at the Olympics, it's like that much more special in a way. Of course, they have the medalists, the gold, silver, and bronze perform in the gala, and then they have 2 invitation teams that they'll invite. Tim and I had the absolute honor of being invited to skate in the Olympic Gala, which is huge because it's not just figure skating world watching, it's worldwide. And the figure skating gala in general is like a bit of a free-for-all, like shit show, fun, like you do whatever you want. So for people that don't know the skating world, people were watching it like, what is this? Why are Olivia and Tim kicking a football around on the ice? Like, people were confused. But this is the moment where, like, you grab the attention of people that don't know figure skating and introduce them to it in the best way possible. So the gala overall was so fun and an amazing way to close, like, our skating experience at the Olympic Games there in Milan. skating on the ice with Olympic champions, like that had just literally won their medal days prior. Like just that feeling on its own, the pride, and the joy and the exhaustion that everyone had on the ice was very real, but a very special moment. Linda, what are you eating? Oh yeah, the Gala. Okay, so that happened because of me.
The Olympic champion.
Okay, that happened because of me, and I'm gonna take me and Tim gonna take full credit for this. So we just finished our number, and I'm in the skating lounge, and then Tim runs into the skating lounge. He's like, Olivia, and he shows me a picture, and it's him and Jackie Chan, and I'm like, context, please. What? And he's like, Jackie Chan was just in the media area, and I'm like, okay, is he still there? What the heck? And he's like, no, I think he's gone up. And I was like, I'm gonna go check. So I'm running to the media area. I'm like, I want to meet Jackie Chan. And we knew Mikhail Shidorov from Kazakhstan just won an Olympic gold medal. He's Olympic champion. His gala exhibition number was Kung Fu Panda. He wears a big panda outfit and just messes around on the ice, and it's just funny, and it's fun, and it's what the skating gala is meant to be. Tim and I were like, oh my God, how sick would it be if he got to have Jackie Chan like at the side of the ice with him as he's doing his Kung Fu Panda gala, and like literally finishes his number and like looks at Jackie Chan and goes, like, imagine. So anyway, we go to the guy that was by the media area, and he's kind of like the main organizer of like everything that's running through the rink. And we know him really well. And we're asking him like, hey, where's Jackie Chan? Where's Jackie Chan? And he's like, I don't think he's going to come back down. He's sat upstairs with the IOC president. And this is when we pitched the idea to him, like, what are the odds of us or you getting Jackie Chan to come down to the side of the ice for Mikhail Shidorov's number? He's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, who do you have to ask for that? And he's like, I can ask the IOC president because he sat next to him. And I'm watching this guy WhatsApp the IOC president, la 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 la. And then I watch it have 2 blue ticks. And then I watch this guy start typing back. And then he gets the answer of yes. And I'm like, no way, you're kidding me. So then Tim and I run to the men's locker room, and we grab Mikhail, and we're like, hey man, Jackie Chan's here, and he's going to stand at the side of the ice for you and for your number. And you could see this guy who was just like, what? Long story short, Jackie Chan was stood at the side of the ice as Mikhail Shadorov did his Kung Fu Panda number and greeted him as he was coming off the ice. Such an epic moment. The crossover that wasn't even planned and nobody even expected, but just an amazing moment for Mikhail to like win the Olympics and then meet Jackie Chan and also like have him involved in his gala number. It was so special. We all got to get a picture of Jackie Chan as well and meet him. There's a lot of celebrities around at this Olympics, but that was like a very, very memorable one. Okay, we're wrapping up. This is the last day of the Olympic Games, but things aren't over. We have the men's Olympic hockey final match. USA versus Canada. We have tickets. We're going. But we had a short window because we had the closing ceremony that night, which we had to leave for around like 4:30 p.m. The game started at 2. So we weren't able to watch the whole game. So we went to watch the first 2 periods and then we had to bounce, which was heartbreaking. But just to be there in the atmosphere and witness that moment and see part of the final match and just see these 2 epic teams like play against each other was so sick. It was really hard to leave. But even getting tickets for that game was so difficult because it sold out in seconds. So yeah, we had the hockey final and then we went straight back to the village, changed into our Olympic closing ceremony kit, went to Verona. Olympic closing ceremony, a celebration to end the Olympics with all the athletes that were still at the Olympic Games. Athletes from the mountains came down. We all marched out together. Tim and I did maybe a few extra rounds than we needed to. We went around with Spain, and then we went around again with Spain. You're supposed to just go around once and then leave. It was like pretty like fun, nonchalant vibes though. So we went around once, and then we were like, come. So the rest of Team Spain followed us, and we went around again. And then Team Spain leaves, and Tim is like, let's go again, just me and you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And like, I just follow him. We found ourselves in the pack of Team USA. So there's literally the whole of Team USA and then me and Tim, 2 Spanish athletes. we do this round. We're milking it. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. This is so fun. This is the end of our Olympics. But then as we're about to leave, Tim spots the last team coming onto the floor. And it is Team Italy, which is their at home Olympics. But Tim's like, I can't not walk with my girlfriend. And I'm like, oh God, fine. Because I couldn't leave without him. I didn't want to. So then Tim and I walk again in this beautiful stadium in Verona, closing the Olympic Games on live television. In that moment, though, I realized this whole team of Italian athletes are all wearing white, and we're wearing bright red. The overhead shot of this moment was just the whole of Team Italy in their white kit, and then Tim and I in our red kits. It was like playing the easiest Where's Waldo ever. So in that moment, I was like really embarrassed, but I also was like, hey, I'm just going to enjoy this and have fun with it. Tim got his photo with Sarah. It was a moment. Tim and I are the life of the party, and we really showed it in that moment. Then we got to sit, watch the closing ceremony show, see Major Lazer, finish the closing ceremony, get a picture with Major Lazer. So I saw Diplo, because he's a part of Major Lazer, and I showed him this old photo of me with him in 2013. He's like, where is this? And I was like, Philadelphia Mad Decent Block Party. He's like, wow, you're a big fan. I'm like, yep. So that was a really cool moment. And I got a picture with America Foster and Walshy Fire, 2 people in Major Lazer as well. Of course, everyone was like surrounding Diplo because Diplo is Diplo. But I'm like, yo, this is Major Lazer. Like, this is them as a whole. The closing ceremony ended. We had to take a trip back to Milan. Verona was like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. But we had a train and a bus to get there and get back. So imagine the closing ceremony just ended at like midnight. So we're not getting back to the village until 2 a.m. Everybody goes to the dining hall, but not just like the people from the closing ceremony at the dining hall. The U.S. men's hockey team have just got back from celebrating, and they're at the dining hall. This is everyone's last night in the Olympic Village, so there was just an energy there that you didn't want to miss out on. But I had a bus to take in an hour and a half. I was leaving. My flight was at 7 a.m. back to Montreal, connecting through Brussels. I can't lie when I say that I was kind of ready to go home. I had the most epic 3 weeks of my life. I was the flag bearer for Spain in the opening ceremony. We had 2 incredible Olympic skates. I became a fiance, and I got to skate in the Olympic Gala and do the closing ceremony and meet Major Lazer. Like, I have zero complaints. I was like filled to here with memories, joy, gratitude. And I was just ready. I was just ready to go home. I was ready to be back in my bed, see my dog, see Linda, and get back to my fiance. Like, the post-Olympic blues and depression is very much a thing. And I'm saying this now, so check back in on me in a few days because it might be different. But, like, I'm just so happy to be home and to come home to my fiance, my family, and the life that I've built here. I don't feel the blues as much as I did 4 years ago. I don't know. It feels different this time around. I feel complete. I feel like I lived my Olympic experience to the max. I got everything out that I needed to and wanted to from this Olympic experience. And back to regular life. But regular life isn't that boring. Like, I'm back to training already. We're training for the World Championships. We have the World Championships in a month. So, like, I guess keeping the momentum rolling, like keeping the ball rolling might help. And so far, so good. I feel pretty good, except like I'm sore, I'm tired, but I'm enjoying being back on the ice. There's a lot of joy. There's a lot of confidence there coming back from the Olympics. And then coming home every night after training to my dog, my fiance, and the life that we have. I'm truly, truly blessed. I feel like the luckiest girl in the world from this last month and for what's to come. I can't thank you all enough for everything. Even just like the acknowledgement that I got on social media during the Olympics has been so overwhelming. Not just for me, but for Stephen as well. There was content that was posted that was planned, but there was content there that was not planned, i.e. the engagement, like just everything that happened on social media and in real life and at the Olympics was so natural, and I'm so happy that I was able to capture capture so much of it, and not just myself, the photographer, the videographers from the ISU, Steven with our Olympic skates, like just putting the experiences and memories out there on social media for you all to see and to share with you all has been a blessing. And I'm so happy that you're all following along still. There's a lot more to come still. The World Championships is in a month. So if you're new to the skating world and a new skating fan from the Olympic Games, it doesn't stop here. Like, we don't just show up every 4 years. Like, you all need to stick around between then because, like, we're great.
Tell them to subscribe.
Oh, and subscribe. Like, subscribe. I forget to do that. I forget to tell people because, I don't know, sitting on this sofa and sitting in front of you all and talking now is so natural to me that I forget that I have a YouTube channel and a podcast called Whatever This Is. This happens so naturally, so randomly, and I'm so, so blessed and so grateful. So thank you all for still following along and continue following along. There's a lot more to come, and I think that's it for now. I think we've covered enough, okay? Ciao! That was really long, guys. I'm so sorry.